focus at all?
No, if anything, it's a little distractor. But that's not the right word, but I mean, it takes my focus a little bit off of it.
Yeah.
And the long loads are very useful for doing this, for sure.
Just helps keep the stress low so you don't get ruined by tournament nerves.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. Interesting. I hadn't considered that.
The only time where I feel like it's too fast between stages is KBB and Egg Golem, because there's no score countdown for bosses.
And there's no emblem.
Yeah, and Egg Golem loads really fast because you can skip the cutscene.
Yeah. So we are doing a little bit of a timer sync here just to make sure that, you know, these runners are perfectly lined up for the beginning of the run.
Yep. Over the course of the run, Aura should save about 2 minutes on Flub RTA.
So if you see Aura pulling ahead by a very, very significant margin, it might be a little bit less than you think, because Flubbler's loads are going to be quite brutal.
Yep, sure. Oh, good movement here from both runners to start. It's like a 37 check from Aura if we were to hit it.
It would have been a 37 check from Flub as well if he'd hit it. Flub going for pauseless, Aura going for pause, but funnily enough, because Flub is running on console, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, very, very nice. Both runners hitting CE skip. So it's not happened a lot this tourney, I don't think.
Oh, Flub having some trouble getting onto the rail, but it does look like he's able to eventually find his footing. That is some really unfortunate time loss, though.
And Aura with the speed shoes here, I'm not sure if that's something he wants to see. Messes up the rhythm here a little bit.
I mean, I'm sure you would take speed shoes over getting owned in the rail section, which I don't really blame Flub for. I've seen it happen to basically everybody.
Yeah, it's tough. 122 though, very nice time.
Yeah, 122 is a very good time on City Escape. I would gladly take that. Well, I would have to do the skip first, but I would in a skipless setting, it's a very, very good time. Or in a in a skip setting, it's a very, very good time. Certainly in the upper echelon of times you can get. Flub getting a little bit more common of a time in the mid 130s, it looks like.
Yeah. Not sure if that's what he wants to see there, but both runners, even though Aura did do the pause version of C skip, don't worry about it. He's not going to lose any time to Flub because this is an IGT match too. And nice Bigfoot. Good job.
Very clean Bigfoot.
I'm not sure what the frame perfect time is on Bigfoot.
The frame perfect time, if you don't restart, is a 21:39, and from what I saw, it looked like he got a 21:49. So that's a really fast time.
Oh, pick from the start, very nice.
Oh, he uses the wind tunnel to grab it. Oh, but the ceiling detection in this game is so brutal. I don't know why they decided it would take you out of a glide.
Unfortunate there, but very smart not taking the hint, noticing no 10 finger, so it has to be the piece above him.
And he does it hintless. He does the entire stage hintless because he gets mounted with red and green stripes and just immediately goes for bird box in the shade. I would gladly take a 22 hintless, and Flub would absolutely not gladly take Parakeet on the left shoulder. And I do not blame him. That piece is garbage.
Yep, for sure.
Getting a terrace with 2 legs as the second piece. Hopefully the weight doesn't cause him any issues. It looks like it doesn't. And he has an immediate green pin. It looks like it's going to be Sandy Path, and it is over the tilting. You can grab this with enough height in the wind tunnel, but if you are low enough, you can do a nice little slope jump off of the tilted pillar to grab it. But not necessary. Flub gets a 24 after the restart.
And already we're seeing Flubbler's IGT not being accurate, but it's very minimal time.
And also the what's it called? The RTA is really showing through here, considering how deep into prison lane Aura is, despite the very small difference in IGT.
Yeah, pretty much the only big time difference between these two runners so far with the rail and Cityscape. About it.
it really, just that 10 seconds made all of the difference, and it looks like a lot more of a difference than it really was.
For sure, yeah. Flubbler now loading in. Auraa's on pretty good pace here. Is that 49 check? Very nice.
That is quite nice. If he keeps this up, he should definitely be on pace for a low to mid 130.
Yeah, that's definitely a time he wants to see coming out of the stage. Flubbler doesn't come into play in this stage, but something he was talking to me about last night is his pause headers have been a little off ever since switching to a different controller in Xbox, because his pause button's a little mush from running Shadow Story, he said.
Yeah, he did mention just in general that his Tails felt worse on console, but his Sonic felt so much better that he literally just couldn't afford to run on PC if he wanted to be as competitive as he could. And a 132 prison lane from Aura.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah, if Flubb's not on the top of his Tails game, this is going to be a reasonably significant deficit. And it looks like he isn't able to get the early lock on and gets a 54 check on top of it. So
that's something I should mention. That lock on is very inconsistent on Xbox, actually. One of the very weird differences they made. Getting that lock on is not consistent at all. Doesn't happen a lot.
That's wild. Something that's really interesting to note about that is on GameCube, you can actually get more than one lock on through that elevator. So it's wild that depending on the console that you're playing on, you could get way more or way fewer lock on.
It's really stupid. That's it too.
Aura got an 18 upgrade?
Holy wow, this is just amazing. 28 check right there. Excellent so far from Aura.
Putting on an absolute clinic on how to play the early game.
Flubbler finishing was at 146. Not a great time. It's alright.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to just lose like at least a couple seconds to that lock on not working, because not only do you have to hit the enemy and wait for the gate to rise, but you also lose all of your speed, and Tails does not have good acceleration.
Yeah, we're looking, this should be like a mid 120. He did have a little bit of struggles somersaulting into the gate there. Could be really finicky sometimes, understandable. Very clean start from Flubb here. As we see, Aura got, is that 124 it looks like?
Yeah,
it's a good time. And a sub 20 check.
Yeah, a sub 20, so he's no slouch either. Yeah, sub 20 is the upgrade time that you really want to see on this stage, but I mean, sub 19, if you can get it, is unreal.
Yeah, that is just perfect movement.
Going to be doing a little pace check during the Faker cutscene. Aura at 5:16 when Flubb finishes Metal Harbor, which shouldn't be too far away. I'm going to be, checking to see where he is, to see what the approximate difference is between these two runners, as it is a lot harder to estimate RTA difference between console and PC.
You won't even get the chance.
Yeah, looks like Flubb might gain a little bit of time on Aura here. He had a very clean Metal Harbor sub 50 check before the rocket's good.
Yeah, that is quite good. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be getting a 123 flat, I believe.
Yeah, so that saves about a second on Aura.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Hurry and get back here right
so
now.
With all of that time noted, Flubb is just about 30 seconds behind Aura. So
Flubb's time is completely accurate, except the restart and wildcatting, but that only loses less than a second.
Yeah.
Or just about.
Depending on how fast it goes, yeah, it shouldn't take too much time at all.
Yeah, no variant one time loss either.
But yeah, luckily, what's it called? Luckily for Flubb, these 30 seconds could completely be erased by Green Forest shenanigans, along with upcoming Pumpkin Hill, and Aquatic Mine.
Yeah, no air easy attempt here from Aura. Might just because he missed the rail, but I was talking to him before this and said his air easy felt a little off. So that makes sense they wouldn't go for it.
He does get the mini run and a 37 check as Flub cleans up a nice and clean Shadow 1.
Yeah, good time. I'd expect we see a wall run attempt here.
Lines up on the tree, goes for the pause buffer silent motorboat method, lands very low. I think this is going to have to be a moonshot. Oh, he actually just opts out.
Huh, taking the safe way out. Yeah, that's not too bad considering that you'd have the moonshot.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of speed, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't like the concept of doing moonshot. And you know, if you go back far enough, there wasn't actually a setup initially to go directly off of the tree into the rest of the stage. It was a wall run to skip the platforming section before bungee skip. So Aura having a little bit of a throwback moment to old strategies.
Yeah. Let's see, Flubbler, ooh, dying on air easy. That's gonna be about, was it like 2 seconds that he's not gonna add to his time.
Huh, no problem.
Also, the pause buffers from Aura, I'm pretty sure I only implemented that recently because I told him his match was IGT like an hour ago.
You know what? If you're playing an IGT, then you might as well use it for all that it's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Homing attack in SA2 is very, very brutal, and Flub trying to homing attack over the edge of that wall. Unfortunately, the game decided he was too close to the springs and that he was going to get sent all the way back down. But he is able to get top spring, so if he's able to get wall run, then he might be able to mitigate the time loss from that. But it doesn't look like he was able to keep the loop speed there. Very unfortunate.
Or taking 3-phase goes period, a very, very questionable piece most runners reset.
It's close. One more left.
Not a bad piece too, though. Not a terrible piece too, I should say.
Very weird set. I don't think I've seen sets like this very often. I feel like that piece 2 is quite rare.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Oh, looks like Flubbler died. Wow.
Oh, this is very unfortunate. I mean, luckily it was right after that checkpoint, but any death at a time like this is pretty brutal.
It's about 6 seconds. Drum getting to work early about adding these deaths.
In the meantime, though, Flub is able to finish the stage and get into his own Pumpkin Hill to see if he could get, hopefully, a better set than Aura did.
Yeah, finished with 145 in about, let's say, 7 or 8 seconds of deaths. Counting air easy and his 110.
Aura starting off Mission Street is going to be a strategy to, you know, take the left side of this crumbling bridge, jump over it, and wait in the upgrade for more beneficial cycle timing. We're going to see just how much he does wait, and he waits a long time. So the benefit to waiting in that cutscene, it doesn't change anything about the entire stage cycle, but these platform cycles up here are changed, or they behave slightly differently. So it becomes a push and pull game of how much time you're willing to spend in that upgrade before, you know, risking not being able to make it up to that platform cycle. And with a 44 check, that's basically as much IGT as you can like reasonably squeeze out of it.
Flubbler with the twin skulls check. Thank you, Flubbler. Getting a good piece 1 now.
He gets in Sad-Eyed Pumpkin piece 2. He's going to check for the far one. And went pretty far out for it. I almost thought he was going to do the stuffed nose check, as you can get stuffed nose as a piece 3, but no, it looks like he was just really making sure, didn't want to leave too early. And King of the L piece 3, quite unfortunate. Aura going for the 0 cycle platform, does make it on there.
Oh, very nice.
124 check, yeah, that is very good for his upgrade strategy.
Yeah, and especially because he was really disappointed he missed weight hop in his race against Peppers earlier today. Good comeback right here. This is going to be a very good mission for you.
Absolutely. And the difference between Aura and Flub is still like about 35 seconds. So, oh, there is the death to account for. But still, it's not. This is still a workable deficit for Flub, assuming that things go poorly for Aura in desert or space. One hidden base death at the wrong time can make up this entire difference.
For sure, yeah. 202.
Good time. Flub gets the. Oh wow, yeah, 202 is a fantastic time.
Oh yeah, another thing I was talking to Aura about when I told him it's IGT is that it's good that he doesn't have to rush his pause overs now, because he didn't have a great time at pause overs today in Mission Street and Hidden Base against Tethys.
Oh, I can't believe Flub made that weight hop. The early unpause
Wow.
and an extra pause to get the A input. It really just shows that the placement of the pause hover is more important than the actual pause hover itself.
3 fans piece 1 here, very good, but an awful piece 2. No one likes to see winning box on a steel beam.
It just puts you so deep into Ghost Room, and you have to get all the way out and then get to your next piece. But dig at the bottom of the slope. Doesn't seem like it's going to be too far away. Hopefully he is able to get this without too much complication, but there is a lot of RNG room for Flub to catch up, especially with those 3 dig attempts in order to get the piece.
Yeah, 10:32 out of Aquatic Mine, though, is just excellent pace.
Absolutely. Flub very comfortably making 0 cycle.
Very nice, yeah. Probably very nerve-wracking Mission Street for him, considering that he barely made the cycle in the platforms after weight hop and barely made weight hop.
Yeah, flying by the seat of his pants, but evidently it's good enough for him to make it on the cycle pace. And really, the cycle and the upgrade weight are the 2 main portions of the entire stage. The end is not really an auto scroller, but the movement isn't super, what's it called? It's not super make or break.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Aura's pace right now, though, 10:32 out of Aquatic Mine, very comparable to Dawn's pace today. His match for his Prophet, which was the combined Knuckles world record. So, yeah, this is a great run for Aura.
Trader on commentary earlier mentioning the pace check out of Route 101, which was something that he had mentioned to me when he was on his big hero story climb up the leaderboard. The big thing that he told me was that he really, when he was on a hero run, he really wanted to look for sub 13 out of Route 101. That was the standard that he had set back then. And I mean, it's probably changed over the years, but whenever I see Route 101, I do kind of have that mental note of checking to see if a runner's on really good pace by seeing if they're sub 13 on Route 101.
Yeah, that's a great pace, yeah. I just hope to be sub 13 out of Aquatic Mine, honestly.
Amen to that. I'll drink to
Did you
that.
find the president?
Let's see.
Yeah,
Overturn
Fluffy-
minecart piece 1, not bad.
No, not bad at all. And he was a little bit careful on the inside of a minecart free piece up top, which I don't blame him for at all. In a tournament setting, you really do not want to miss a free piece check, especially if it's something that can come back and be so brutal as a top piece 3.
Yeah, he's also extra careful. Ooh, Path to the Abyss, though, not great.
Yeah, not really much you can do here except sign clip and just try and get it as fast as possible. The camera does follow him very quickly, though.
Yeah, clean clip out. Piece grab under the platform, though, is very awkward to get.
He does get a 43, so he isn't really able to save the time over Aura that he wanted to. I think he may have actually lost some time, but nothing really you can do there. That's just how luck goes. And Aura 1248 out of Route 101. This is very good pace.
Yeah, excellent. Decent Route 101 is at 216. Sure, you'd like to see a little better, but that's still a good time.
Aura actually has his own ring route for Route 101 that several other high-level runners follow. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little bit upset at the fact that he wasn't able to get his standard, like, high 213s, low 214s.
Yeah, we saw 213 today, actually, from Prophet. Wow, it was a very good run. Hidden base, another stage that word benefits over not having to rush his pause overs in IGT.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, that is so brutal though.
Right when I say that, yeah, this is going similarly to how it went against Teppies today, and that is definitely a hidden base he was not proud of.
Yeah, I mean, there's not, what's it called? It is a little bit brutal that, you know, that you have to rush your pause hovers in D1, but, I mean, even in IGT, you still have to hit them. And no matter how slow you go, if you don't hit the pause hover, unfortunately, you just cannot make it go off.
Yep, it's really precise, yeah. It's very easy to mess up. And something that is going to be different for Flub, because he's not used to this new controller and this terrible pause button, and also the fact that you cannot remap buttons on Xbox, so he has to claw pretty much to hit the buttons, to hit pause button and pause hover.
That's true.
As opposed to, he's told me he's used bumper in the past.
Bumper is a very common remapping, I'm not surprised by that.
Good movement though. 115 is very good with Axel and a second try at Axel at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the skips at the beginning of Hidden Base don't save as much time as it looks like they might. So realistically, all of the time lost from, you know, everything and doing the worst skip, he is still able to get a relatively good pace. It looks like he's going to get a high 140, maybe a mid 140 if things go well enough.
I did it!
Yeah, still very respectable time, especially with him messing up the beginning.
Yeah, 146 with Axel is quite good.
That was a little tough.
And Flub just finishing Route 101 as Aura finishes Hidden Base. There is a time discrepancy between these two runners, but Xbox is really making it look worse than it is.
It's probably about 45 seconds, maybe a little more.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a 214 Route 101, so if he's able to have a good Hidden Base, he might be able to recover some of the time that he lost back in Aquatic Mine, or some more of the time, I should say. But Aura looks like he's going to make it very difficult to save any of that time in Pyramid Cave, as this start has been phenomenal.
Excellent start here. Oh, was that 30?
Yeah, that might have been a 29 upgrade. I think it was a 30 though.
Yeah, 30's really good. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Flub goes for the pull hop attempt, and he misses it in a way that's faster, but we're going to need to see a first try Axel, which we do see. So Flub does have the opportunity to save some time over Aura, but his movement is going to need to be really good. Chat is confirming it was a 29 upgrade. Aura is cracked.
Yeah, that's excellent. Very good. 103 check here is good too, especially with the second try at second door close.
For sure, for sure. Taking a bit of extra time to set up for Snake Skip, but I mean, he does get it, so.
It's a little low. Good though.
Yeah, the height for Snake Skip is pretty scary, but if you're confident enough with how the wall run mechanics work, you can make very, very low Snake Skips work. And it looks like he's going to get a mid 130. Yeah, 135.39.
Not a bad time.
No, not at all. Wait, Flub went over the enemy? I didn't even see that. I didn't know that the hitbox was small enough that you could go over it.
I was a little bit focused on Aura's screen there, but yeah, Flub did pass the Xbox enemy in Hidden Base. Awkward to get around, but Flub went over it. Something that I have never done before, and I've been playing on Xbox for way longer.
Maybe that's something that Xbox runners have got to look into. Maybe the versions aren't as different as we thought. You can't just go over it, but it's a tighter window.
Yeah. 3 Container Brothers from Aura, excellent start, and then a decent piece too also.
140 hidden base from Flub, or 154 hidden base from Flub. Not a bad time by any stretch. Maybe not the time that he wanted to see, but certainly not a bad one.
Oh, okay, that's a good piece 3 from there. Great set from Aura.
Yeah, very humorous that Aura's 3 pieces were in red, blue, and red blue.
It's closer. I found him.
Packing Aura. 45 deathless. Very, very good.
With a failed box clip, it could have been even lower if he had made it.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Unreal execution.
For Pyramid Cade for Flubbler, that's definitely a stage I've been impressed with him recently. He's been getting sub 130 pretty consistently, and it's one of those stages that he
Who's
at least
there?
feels like he benefits the most for going to Xbox as opposed to doing PC with his old controller.
Yeah, he was definitely mentioning that, and we're already seeing it pay off, as I believe that's a 30 upgrade, which is very, very close to what Aura got. But considering the difference in leaderboard placement, you know, like that's huge. That's a very good type of pace to keep up with.
30's an excellent time.
That's the setup for second door skip. Unfortunately, it looks like he may have been a little bit too far forward, but he is able to get it second try.
And you might have not charged the spin dash too long also.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts in second door skip. It is a little bit lenient, but there are quite a few ways that it can go wrong. And sometimes once it goes wrong once, it goes wrong for a long time. So the fact that Flub was able to get it second try is, you know, indicative of the composure that he's able to keep.
Yep, and good KBB from Aura. KBB is always one of those spots that can be a huge make or break for a run, so I'm sure he's happy that he didn't mess it up.
Interesting thing from Flubbler there, he actually double bounced in order to collect a 1-up on purpose, which I'm not, what's it called? I actually think that's a really good idea, because going into Death Chamber, especially when you're behind, you know, it's really important to have as many opportunities as possible to reset bad pieces and or have extra attempts at death strats.
Yeah, very safe, especially considering I believe he restarted in Aquatic Mine, died in Green Forest twice, restarted.
Yeah, he's only got 5 lives.
Yeah, and as opposed to Aura's 7 exiting Egg Golem, which is another spot that can sink your lives to.
Yeah, there are a couple spots left in the run where you really want to have lives for. One of them is Eternal Engine, where you probably want at least 1 extra one, and then Crazy Gadget immediately afterwards.
Yeah, Eternal Engine was what I'd like to say is his favorite stage. He is one of the biggest haters of Bofa. I believe in the last tournament, he gentleman's EE skipped with SMD. And, well, I guess he's not too much of a hater now. That's great first try.
The first try Bofa from Aura. This pace has got to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'd assume this is definite PB pace, even after the hidden base. I mean, that Death Chamber is going to help this a lot.
Yeah, Flub takes a very quick death on Angry Man, gets a first try death strat, Bug's Baby, and then gets Eggman's eye level as his third piece. This is going to be a very good set for him, which he really needs to keep pace with Aura's 45.
Yeah. Still not bad, though. He'll definitely take that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those races where it's like, you know, Flub is playing quite well. Like, this is a very, very good pace. It might be one of the best paces we've even seen in the tournament, but when you're playing against the top seed in your pool, it's really hard to win.
Yep. I was actually talking to Flubbler about this last night. He really wants to take the Xbox world record, which is a 24:59 for Kryphin. So this is definitely in play right now.
Next time.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Ethmar has like a 25, and then Kryphin has a 24:59.
Yeah, Aura finishing Eternal Engine with a 120, which is fantastic.
Oh, excellent, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Flub having a bit of trouble on Cat Boost because the wall is just so close. Sometimes it feels like Boom Boo just decides he wants to throw fireballs at the wall for no reason.
Yeah. Dangerous Water Drops is a pretty easy reset there, but he gets a good piece too. Okay. Second piece 1.
Yeah, this can lead to some pretty good sets, and if we're wanting him to be on really good pace, best tournament time and or PB, you know, hoping for a really good rest of the set is very important for that. Although a star between 3 arches, not the piece 2 you want to see unless it gives a bottom piece 3, which it does not. It gives a middle piece 3.
I'm sure if Cryptic were watching this, he'd advise Aura to check for that before going down. One of those Cryptic check pieces right now. Not the worst he could see from there, but not ideal in the slightest.
It's closer.
Looks like Flub is going for profit bounces. I think the first hit was a regular super bounce. Oh, looks like he's going to try and make it onto the back platforms.
Yeah,
That was
this
a
is
snap
perfect.
decision that looked like it was a good idea, but sometimes Egg Golem just moves away so fast. And if you're not over him in the right way and you try to anticipate his movements, then sometimes he might stop moving at a time you're not expecting. And looks like he just intentionally moves away from you like he's dangling a carrot in front of your face.
Did you
Yeah,
buy my
good analogy.
Your emerald.
Yeah,
Talking to you is a
that looked
waste
like a
of
smart
time.
play from Fud, but sometimes Egg Golem does a little trolling like that and moves out of the way.
Very well. If that's how you want to
Part of the
play,
reason why no one likes Egg Golem. One of the many reasons, I'd say, actually.
Yeah, not a very popular boss in the community.
Even when you don't do the bounces, he could still be incredibly annoying like that.
I never lose.
Get away from my emerald.
Queen Rouge from Aura, you know, looks like a pretty like really a formality of a fight. Just doing the bare minimum in order to you know damage a boss in terms of the actual strategy, but you didn't mess it up, and that's really all you can hope for in a Rouge
You
fight.
can change the
Yeah.
gravitational force using the gravity control switch.
Very clean movement here. Looks like maybe a high 11, 12 glass break. That's excellent.
He did get a 24 check earlier in his race against Tethys, so we're gonna see if he's able to get another. Yeah, there it is, 24 check.
That's great.
Yeah, he does not set up for free cam, and Flub does get second try Bofa as Aura makes it out of bounds for bad cam CGSS. Both of these runners flying through different parts of the same space right now.
Wow, that's gonna be an excellent time. 47. That's very, very good.
Yeah, and first try too. Flubbler getting a very good camera turnaround considering no pause. It was not as quick as the camera turnaround could have been on a second try, but considering how poorly first try camera turns go for a lot of people, like that is definitely in the top echelon of the ways that can go.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe the 22 is dead for Aura, but this is definite best run of the tourney pace.
Absolutely.
I mean, pretty large margin.
The run to beat for best run of the tournament is Emerald 2404. So if we want to see the best run of the tournament, then I mean it definitely looks like it's on the table. Aura has been playing phenomenally.
Yeah, there's really not much Flub could have done here. I mean, this is just the third best, or I guess fourth best hero story runner now, showing what you could do.
Oh, something that's good to note from Deku is that Aura is using IGT. So due to some of the deaths and pauses, I mean, sometimes you don't lose that much time, and as far as I'm aware, Aura hasn't really died in this run.
He definitely hasn't exited. I can't imagine anything over like 7 seconds about.
Yeah, so like even though this is what's it called? Yeah, Aura has paused a lot. But I don't know. It'll definitely. It looks like it's on the table.
Seeing a fastball, very clean movement from Aura to start. Fastball. This is definitely 119 pace, which is a great time.
Flub getting into floating containers piece 1. It's a bit of a tough piece to grab because that container's hitbox gets very in the way of the actual piece. Looks like his second piece is in front of a big door that never opens. He tries to get the slam dunk from downtown, barely misses it. And floating around the moon piece 3, you know, shouldn't be too much of an issue. Both runners getting middle, bottom, middle pieces.
Another piece that would have been a cryptic check, I'd imagine. But very understandable to not go for them in a run setting as opposed to a ×20 setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Looks to be a 120 flat for more. Great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a really good time.
Yeah, this is very low 23 pace. Or actually, no, it should be mid 23 pace. But
yeah,
still
V1.
an unbelievable run.
Yeah, something that he is definitely very happy with. No major slip-ups at all. I don't think he died.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
he had
think
any
died,
deaths, they were very short and not significant at all. He didn't even need to die on Death Chamber.
I'll show you the true power of chaos control.
Goes for the first hit, gets it pretty cleanly. The second hit happens right after. Goes for 4, gets a bit of an unfortunate bounce, but he is able to recover, and he does get a 23-26 IGT. Excellent showing from Aura. If you're Flub, you can't feel bad about this loss. You literally can't. It's the best run of the tournament so far. You can't be expected to beat this.
Yeah, Aura played over a minute better than Flub's PB. There's really just not much he could do about it. Actually,
Sonic,
Flub is like
I
a low
did it.
24, I think.
Even
Something
still,
like that.
it's
Still
a
definitely out of his
significant
range.
margin. Yeah, it's a significant margin higher than Flub's ever had, which, you know, not a knock on Flub. Aura is just one of the best runners of this game, and certainly one of the best active runners.
Yep, Flub has a 24.07, so over 30 seconds, better than his PB. Nothing Flub should be disappointed at all. Great showing from Aura. And it's just what the top seed does in the tourney.
And let's not knock Flub here. This has been a pretty good showing from him too. Like, there's been a couple mistakes, but like, this is a good run.
For sure, yeah. Nothing major at all, really. Just small deaths, if that.
We're gonna see a free cam box hover from Flub, a little bit of an incorrect angle. He bounced off of the little side of the wall there, and that's an indicator that you're holding a little bit too far up. But if he is holding that far up, it is an indicator of a very good out of bounds turn, one that keeps a lot of your speed and makes it so that the out of bounds movement is easier. Goes for an early bounce. I do believe he used the container as a visual cue, and he is able to get a 51 with a CG death.
Yeah, solid time. Looks to be maybe about 10 seconds at deaths when restarts for Flub. Not too off-putting, not too misleading his time is at all.
Yeah.
I should say.
Flub now 2 bosses and a stage away from the what's it called? 2 bosses and a stage away from his own completion of this speed run.
I think Flub forgot to put in CG time. Actually, pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it's just there's so much to think about, especially when you're, you know, trying to, you know, make sure that you're keeping pace in a tournament. I've used auto splitters in games for so long that I forget to manually split all the time in games where I have to.
Oof, unfortunate. Probably Flub's first big death there, about 17 seconds in Eggman 2. Could be a tough boss at times, understandable.
Yeah. If you don't do the manip, it's very easy to run out of health. Eggman has a lot of attacks that damage for a lot of damage.
This attempt looks to be much better though. Just needs one more hit. There we
The
go.
homing shot looked like it was going to hit, and then it decided not to. It was looking very dangerous, but luckily Flub is able to keep enough health to make it through.
Very nice. 23-36. I believe he did put in his Eggman time, but not his. Yeah, that's his Eggman time, but not his CG still.
We can double check that after the run for sure.
Yep.
In the meantime, though, I am interested in what type of final rush skip Flub is going to be going for. There was a recent video put out by JW about a new way to do the final rush skip that's faster for runs. And I mean, between bounce versus bounceless, fastball versus no fastball, if you're trying to do the new way, there's a lot that can be changed. And the beginning movement looked good, and this bounce looks phenomenal. I love the angle that he's holding you.
Yep, everything's on point here. A little slow turn, but not a big issue at all. No fastball, very understandable in a run. It's easier to die.
Yeah, and some people don't even have it practiced. Sometimes it's not even like a thing that they tend to go for because it's such a small time save.
Yeah, it's something I've performed plenty of times in the past, and it's something that I do not do in runs. It can be a little dangerous, and counting's hard sometimes in a speed run.
Especially with nerves.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you do the math, but you check the starting time wrong. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Yeah. Also, it's been confirmed in chat that Flub did in fact put in his crazy gadget time.
Oh, I'm stupid.
That's fine. Everything's good.
No
problem.
Okay, that makes sense then. 122 from Flub. It's a good time, especially with how fast fall.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Flub going into the final boss of the game, looking to be on low 25 pace, which is a very, very good pace for this run. I mean, it may end up closer to being a mid 25, what's it called, when all of the deaths are accounted for, but even still, mid 25 is better than several runners' best runs of the tournament.
Oh yeah, mid 25 beats most runners, man. It's just unfortunate that he happens to be playing our top seed. Or showing off the skipless FC, his favorite stage. Well, Flub finishes up. Shout out to you here. Having a little difficulty.
Does make me wonder if the AI for the boss is any different on Xbox.
I'd like to say it is because I'm really bad at the boss, but I really don't think so.
That said, though, huge GG's to Flubbler. Very good showing. It's a tough loss to take, but I mean, if I'm Flubbler in this situation, it's hard to not still feel happy with that.
Yep, for sure. It should be maybe a very low 26 or a high 25 after the deaths are accounted for. It's a good run. You can't be disappointed with that one.
Absolutely. And considering that these are both runners in upper pools, they are all guaranteed to make it into bracket. So, I mean, realistically, this is just playing for better in bracket seeding and for practice for tournament. And I think that if I'm Flub in this situation, this particular race taught me a lot about composure and taught me a lot about what kinds of strats tend to work in these runs.
Yeah, I believe this is Flubbler's third match this tourney, third and final pools match, which puts him at 1-2.
Yeah, according to the thing, it looks like he's 2-0-1. That doesn't sound correct.
No, I think he's one. The middle is ties, so I think he's 1-0-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Still, though, that said, I mean, considering how quickly he had to make that switch over to Xbox, and you know there are some differences, and playing on a TV has got to feel different than playing on a computer monitor.
Yeah, and Flub said it in chat, he would have had to PB to even have a chance to beat Ori here, so it can't be bad at all after that.
No. And that is his best time of the tournament, I believe, as far as I can tell. Unless he had like about a minute worth of deaths and restarts, like this is his best time of the tournament. So, I mean, if you're only going to keep improving as the races go along, then that's something that's absolutely happy to see.
Yeah, especially with bracket coming up. Thank you for the 2-viewer raid, Papa Bear. Pretty based. And it looks to be about 45 seconds from drum for deaths, so about a 26-20. So not a bad time. Yeah, something he's proud of.
That said, though, this is going to be the end of the race, and we are going to actually have Flub coming up on commentary for the next upper pools match. We've got Gerp versus Face. I hope you're all excited for that. I personally am going to sign off as I'm taking over the next restreaming shift.
Yeah, I'll be signing off too. First time Gerp and Face are playing this tournament. Very exciting.
Double debut.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming out. and stay tuned for more awesome races.
Yeah, I'll see you guys.